Mic check. I've done that mistake before. Okay, it says we're 8 seconds in. Looks like my mic is working. If anybody jumps on, give me a shout out so I know you can hear me. My name is Ron. I have this channel, the Radiologic Technologist channel, and there's a Facebook group, and there's a blog, the radiologictechnologist.com. And I'm just going to do a real quick shout out. My virtual baby sister Sydney is in Xray school, and she's hitting a hard spot like everybody does, like we all do, because it's hard. It's a hard program, and she posted on our Facebook group that she's just struggling and wants to know what everybody else does. And I started typing out this big, long, stupid answer and realized I might as well just hop on here and do a video because I can say it a lot quicker than I can type it. And when you answer on Facebook, you can't put in paragraph spaces. So it's just one big chunk of text, and I can't stand that. So anyway, Syd, this one's for you and anybody else that's struggling. The topic is she's a junior in her associate's program and starting her clinical intern or externship, whatever you want to call it, or started it last week. Physically, the most tired I've ever been. Mentally, it's a lot to take in. I like to work out. I like to do other things, but I'm so tired at 4:30 to leave the hospital that I just go home and lay on the couch. Does it get easier? Does anyone have any advice for recharging? And I started, my first thought is, it's kind of an old school thought. It's just get used to it, get over it, embrace the suck, as they say in the military, because it's hard. Nothing worth doing is easy. You're trying to better yourself by becoming a skilled technologist on top of the rest of your life. And that's where I giggle at these schools that say, no, you can't work while you're going through our X-ray program. It's not advised. Well, of course it's not advised because it makes it harder. And from the school's perspective, they want the perfect student to them is one that doesn't have to work. They can spend all their time focusing on their studies. That gets the highest grades possible so that in the end, they can brag about statistics and say, look at our graduating class. Everybody passes the board exam. Everybody finds a job. Everybody scores above a 90, whatever. And that's what schools like to report, of course. And you can't blame them. But there's reality, right? Reality that we all have bills and we all have things, animals to take care of, kids, all kinds of projects and things that demand our attention. For Syd, she likes to work out. She likes to make YouTube videos. If you haven't seen her channel yet, she has a terrific channel for X-rays. You can check that out. I wonder if I can link to that. Give me a second. I'll just grab that and give you a link so you can see what she's actually shared so much information. It's very, very helpful for students, right? Here she goes. Sydney. How she got a scholarship, how she studies for finals, a day in the life. She even does a Q&A, how she plans her semester. So Sydney's really putting a lot on the line for everybody else who's interested in the same thing and trying to be helpful and give back, which is something I promote. When I started 20 years ago, there wasn't any of this going on. And if you had questions, you were lucky to find somebody that could help you out. So Syd, here's what my thoughts are. And let's see if I can, get back to. So it really all comes down to a schedule. Make an honest schedule that includes everything you want to do and stick to it, because in that schedule you build in what you like to do. And to put my money where my mouth is, just to show you, and this has helped me for many, many years. I have some of my day timers that I've kept over the years, and I have a whole library of them. Let's see if I can hold them all up. So these are just 4 of my day timers, and I grabbed one of my oldest ones, and I just want to show you how I scheduled my day and some of the things, because what we're talking about here, Syd, is how to keep yourself sane, how to keep yourself from stressing out, how to keep yourself from forgetting to buy cat food on your way home because you're so tired from doing clinicals. And so the organization is what I'm talking about. Getting organized and having everything kind of laid out for you. I'm trying to bring the window back up as well for seeing if there's any comments. I lost my window for seeing if there's comments. Where's that at? Doggone it. There. So, let's talk about day timers and time management. Time management is its own subject. You can take lots and lots of classes on. I've done that. I've had for years I've studied time management and how to make the best use of my time. And this video will kind of serve as a little bit of a summary of what I've done. Because remember, I went through X-ray school and ultrasound school while raising a family of as many as 6 kids. I didn't have 6 when I started, but 6 daughters. And my wife went to X-ray school while I was in ultrasound school, and we made it all work. So here's my day timer, and I kind of went with this fake leather looking, if you can see the texture, because I knew I would want to keep them, because Jim Rohn, one of my mentors, said, keep a journal and keep a library of your journal so that you can look back over the years. Your kids, if they're ever interested, can look back and see what you were doing, that kind of thing. So I use this for a lot of different things. And that's what I'll just kind of show you real quick. So let's just jump into it. So one of the tricks I learned early on was to use. Let me switch binders here. I started to make my own pockets inside of my day timers to hold things that I needed, because I also used these to kind of transport my bills, which is maybe not what's good for everybody, but what I did was, and here's an old school example, right? There's X-ray film. I just cut out a square of X-ray film, and I would staple it in every corner and leave it as kind of a pouch, and then I would put my bills or whatever. Because one of the things you need to learn how to do is capture a thought in the moment. Somebody may say, hey, don't forget that assignment tomorrow, or hey, can you meet me for coffee in the morning, or whatever. And if you don't capture that, you probably think, oh, I'll remember that. But if you don't, that's your loss, and you want to keep track of that stuff. So a day timer is a great place to write it down. Phone, I use Notepad on the phone, or Color Notes, actually it's called, where you text into it and save it. And then at the end of the day, I have a review period where I go through my phone and I transfer it to my day timer. But I started creating pockets in my day timer so that I could keep other things that come to me throughout the day in those pockets. And I just thought I'd show you this day timer from 1997. Is long before I ever went to X-ray school. And you can kind of see how busy it is. There's lots of stuff going on it. But I basically buy these day timers that are monthly tabbed, but then when you open a monthly tab, you have the monthly view with each day, where I would kind of do a summary, like maybe I would write down my shifts and the major things. But then if you opened it up, it had a weekly where you could write a lot more things for each particular day. And I use that part if I have to, but for the most part, I did a lot of just these monthly pages. And so what I'm showing you is that I have down things like payday, because you always want to know what day you're getting paid. Sometimes you forget. I have down birthdays so that you don't forget those, because if you forget important birthdays, you kind of feel like a schmuck. I have down times of different appointments. I have down when all my bills are due. Let's see if I can find you. So this is kind of early days, though, when I was first getting started. See, there's February. February has, where am I taking my wife out on our date for Valentine's Day. I have down here graduation notices and paperwork for the graduation office. Spring break plans. Let's see, just dinner appointments. Again, birthdays, paycheck dates, holidays. See if I can find something. Spring break there in March. So for the most part, I started with the day timer all the way back in the early or late 90s, I guess you would say. And in the back, there's it's like a phone book type thing, so you can keep track of all your contact numbers. And another thing I'll share that I keep as a regular list is when you get in a funk, and I've shared this with my children at times, three of who are adults now. We all get into a funk, and the best way to get out of that funk is to do something that we know we like. So I, for example, have a list of my favorite movies, my favorite songs, and even a couple names of some people that when I talk to, every now and then, every great now and then, you meet somebody that when you talk to, they just make you feel better. They're just upbeat. They just make that you like being around them, and it's few and far between anymore. But if you keep a list of what you like I have down, Groundhog Day is one of my favorite movies. And so if I'm in a funk, or even if my day's just kind of blasé, I may put it up on the TV while I work in the background, and so I can just hear it. Or maybe I'll set some time aside to watch that movie, or I play songs that I know are uplifting to me while I'm driving somewhere. But keep a list of things that are uplifting to you, and also be mindful enough to catch those when you feel them. So when you hear a song and it makes you feel good, write that down in your phone somewhere, capture it in a list of what makes you feel good, because there are times when you're going to feel completely rotten, and because you're already in that mindset, you're going to be stuck in it, and you're not going to, you're going to start walking around kicking stuff and grumbling and grumble, complain. So if you have a list, you can go to it and act on that list and start to do things that will trigger better emotions. So that was back before Xray school. I thought I would show you. So 2004 is right in the middle of my Xray school program. I started in 2003 and graduated in 2005. And by this point, I recognized that, and this one's kind of stained. It kind of had a lot of stuff spilled on it. But what I wanted to show you is, by this time I knew I was starting to drop the ball on things. And this is an actual home maintenance list by seasons. And so I knew if I'm going to be working 2 jobs and going to school and have all this stuff going on, I'm going to start losing track of everything. And so this actually has a home maintenance schedule quarterly for fall and for spring. And it just has things like, clean out the water heater, drain the water heater, or clean out your air conditioning unit, or whatever. Things that are just regular maintenance stuff on the house that if you miss it, it's not a huge deal, but it's better that you stay on top of it. So what I'm just showing you is figure out what's important for you to keep track of, and then keep it here in the day timer so that you have it for a quick reference. I even made a little chart on this page, a little printout that was my daily organized list. Morning, jog or work out, shower, dress, get my bags loaded, eat and cook, and then get the kids up, put their backpacks in the van, prep for clothes, get lunches made, make sure to have my keys, my cell, my bag, and any to-do list for the day. And that kept me on track with what needed to be done for that day. And then at night, I got my clothes ready for the next day. I would pack my bag, my gym bag for clothes, make my food for the next day, get any homework done, get any laundry done, and then do the same for the kids. Make sure, because when my wife was in Xray school and I was in ultrasound school, this is when I was in Xray school, but there were times when we were both in school and we really had to focus on what needed to be done. These are just some of the lists. I made a list of bills. That's a list of all my bills and when they're due and how much they were, and I would keep track. I made it. The best system I found is to pay your bills a couple days before the due date, and then check a week later or two to make sure it came out of your checking account, because there are times when you'll pay your bills and you'll mark that box, and then next thing you know, it didn't go through for some reason, and you're behind, and heaven forbid you end up with a stupid late fee or something when you thought you did it. So go back and double check those. I have a note here, start clinical rotation. Class starts January 5th, 2004. Let's see, what other list do I have? What just fell out? Grocery list. My grocery list was milk, cheese, eggs, cottage cheese, hamburger, chicken, steak, salmon, bacon, sausage, soda, 2 Dr. Pepper, 2 root beer. That was before I gave up soda. But, you know, that's another point. When you're going through school and work and doing all these things, you got to afford yourself a couple luxuries or you're going to go insane. So do I have anything else interesting? So, you know, every month I have my bills up here to make sure I stay on top of the bills. And Easter, making sure I had things lined out for Easter. Deliver cookie dough. I guess the kids were selling cookie dough. Celebrate birthdays. I got a week of no clinicals. I kept track of places that were discounted for kids to eat. Places that have kids eat free with a parent Thursdays from 2 to 5 or whatever. I kept track of free things to go do. Let's see. So that was 2004. What do I have in 2005 that might benefit you? This would have been my last year of Xray. And I think I started to ultrasound 2006. So I have a bookmark here. So again, this is last year of Xray school. I even started color coding and things like that, which is very helpful for me. So I did a little legend up here, what color means what. So green was where I was working at Ahwatukee Foothills Medical Center. Blue was Chandler Regional Hospital. Pink was Banner Desert Medical Center. And I would write in all my shifts and highlight them with those colors. I even wrote, I don't know if you can see, I even wrote sleep. Seriously, I've scheduled when I would sleep. And that's what I was saying in the Facebook post was you have to stick to what the schedule is. Yes, you may go in and out of it and you may, something may happen and knock you off schedule. But for the most part, you have to try to stick to the schedule and not let other people affect your schedule as much as possible. You know, so maybe say, hey, come out with us and go do X, Y, Z. And if you've already got something really important, you got to stick to it. That doesn't mean don't make room for them. But, you know, if you're going to make one of these, you got to try and stick to it. And so this is just, I guess, my biggest advice. One of my advices for, I have 2007 laying here. See if there's anything in that one for you. I just made more pockets for things out of Xray film to put different stuff in that says file this stuff in the garage. So I had a file cabinet in the garage. So bills went in this one and stuff for the garage that when I get home I would triage and put things away. You just can't leave things to chance when you're trying to get so much accomplished. Going to school for Xray and working and having a YouTube channel like Syd does and wanting to work out. I think on the workout thing, Syd, what I found worked best when going to school, and this is a little bit harder, but doing it first thing in the morning. You have to get up like that. There was a time when I would get up at 4:15 in the morning and go get my workout done so that I could then come home and start prepping for the day if I didn't do it the night before. Maybe you can start it at 5. What I had to do at that point, it's what I thought I had to do because I lived in the city, was I felt I had to go to the gym to work out. So I had to budget time to get there, work out, time to get back, time to shower. Really, and I've seen you work out at home in your videos, just give yourself 30 minutes a day to get up, go for a jog, do some weights, whatever, and then slip right in the shower or whatever your morning routine is. But what I found is if you don't do it first in the day, and then you go to work, and then you all day long, and by the time it's 4:30 or quitting time, you're like, I just don't really want to go to the gym now. I'm exhausted, and the motivation's not there. And I'm going to end it there. I'm going to end with the word motivation because motivation is not the key. It's not what will get you through the tough times. The key word is dedication or discipline. It's the discipline to do what you know needs to get done whether the motivation is there or not. So the things I mentioned earlier, like movies and songs and people that make you feel good, those are motivators. Those raise your spirits. Some good dance music, like I like techno stuff, and it'll make me really start wanting to hop around, get me energized. Of course, I drink a couple of caffeine drinks for that too. That's what I use to get me going, but it's the discipline of doing what you need to get done when it needs to get done, that'll help you get through it. Cool for making it in the RAD program. That's awesome. I'm just kind of about to wrap it up about staying motivated and dedicated and having the discipline to make it through the program, because it's going to be tough. And always reach out if you're having a bad day. Find one of us, post it in our Facebook group, or send an email to me, or whatever. Find somebody and just talk about the crappy day. Just be careful not to get in a circle of people that just complain, because it feeds off itself and everybody just ends up complaining all the time. But I hope this kind of helps you to see how I made it through X-ray school and ultrasound school. And of course, it was by the grace of my mom who helped me out, and my wife who backed me up, and I had some good teachers along the way. But it's really all about, people say, well, how did you handle, because I've made it all the way to my doctorate now. And people say, even all the way back to X-ray school, I would be doing an X-ray in the emergency room, and a patient would say, I wanted to do what you're doing, but I have kids, so I had to take care of them, or I have bills, so I had to work, or all these excuses. And the funny thing is, people have all these excuses, but you don't need a bunch of excuses. You only need one. You only need one excuse to not do what you're destined to do. So what you have to find is your motivation, and let that motivation pique you, and then get dedicated, get disciplined. Make that list, grab that day timer, whatever it is for you, write down, schedule out your stuff, and schedule in your hobbies, and schedule in your fun time. And there was years I went on 4 hours a night of sleep. And yes, it can be done. And I kind of boasted, I only need 4 hours of sleep, but it sucked. And it sucks. And I know it sucks. And sometimes you have to do that. I would recommend no less than 6, so that you stay functional. Or if you do the 4 hours, take some micro naps throughout the day or something. But every scenario requires a different plan. But that's the key, is it requires a plan. You have to plan out your day and your week and your month and your quarter. And you have to make sure you keep track of all this stuff. And you can't do it up here. A radiologist once told me that a teacher he had in medical school explained it like this. Your brain is like an iceberg, and everything you have to remember, or that you have memorized in your life, is a penguin on that iceberg. And there's only so much room on that iceberg for the penguins. At some point, a new penguin comes along and there's no room on that iceberg. And so you have to consciously or subconsciously decide, I'm going to have to forget some things in order to retain some things. And so the answer to that problem is write it down. Write it down somewhere. Get on your phone and get color notes. And when you're driving somewhere and an idea hits you, open color notes and hit the microphone button and say, don't forget to pick up cat food on the way home. Boom, done. And then forget about it and let that penguin fall right off the iceberg. Go do your clinicals, and then set on your schedule from 4:30 to 5 or whatever the end of your day is to review your day, to review your notes. I typically would try to review at the end of the business day whatever I was doing at business, and then at the end of the night what I did for the day. So if your clinicals are 8 to 5, that last 15 minutes of clinicals, review your clinical notes to yourself and make sure they end up in your day timer. And at the end of the night, review everything. Did I meet my goals? Did I miss my goals? Is there something I didn't do today that I need to put on for tomorrow that needs to get done? And I hope this all helps. Please reach out if you do need help, because it's going to be hard and it's going to suck, and we've all been through it. Remember, there's over 330,000 licensed X-ray techs in America. That's 330,000 people that have gone through what you're going through right now as a student, and they passed the boards. And that's just the licensed people. That doesn't include all the non-licensed and other students that are going through the program right now. So remember, there's lots of us out there that can help. Don't take it on alone. Reach out. There's the Facebook group, there's the YouTube channel, and there's my blog at theradiologictechnologist.com. I'll help you any way I can. You guys take care. I'll see you on the next video. Fighting with truth. Keep up the good fight, brother. Glad you made it into the program. And I'd be interested to know which program you made it into. So maybe hop in the Facebook group or something. Let everybody know. I think, did you already tell us in Facebook that you got in? I can't remember. Anyway, I got to go. I got some soup cooking. And I will burn it if I don't. I already heard the timer go off. So see you guys later and take care. It's Syd.